When 6'8" is 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiber.
Happy Taste Test Tuesday, everybody. Welcome inside the After Hours Lounge. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiber, Dan Kippen, and Noah Houston with you here tonight. 402-951-1620 is how you can get a hold of the show. Don't forget to follow us at After Hours 1620 on all social medias tonight. Retweet the Taste Test Tuesday post tonight. You'll be entered into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village tonight. Nebraska, they've got a lot of new faces coming to the sidelines. Good, bad, or ugly, we'll debate at the top of the show. Notre Dame, they complain a lot.
Yeah.
Do they have a right to? We'll debate. 6:15, 6:30. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? And what? Let's just call it what it is. Why were we so wrong about the college football playoff? And did the committee get it right? We'll debate that at 6:30. We'll buy or sell on several different topics from around the sporting world, including Old Man River. Also, what do we get right, wrong, and didn't see coming in the whole football season? There's a lot in the wrong category in that as well. And then Brian Munson, our friend from Husker Online and On3, is going to join us at 7:30. Obviously, a lot of news coming out of Lincoln over the past couple of weeks. John, you weren't here last week, so we didn't get to talk to you about your thoughts. John Butler let go from Lincoln, but obviously we know who his replacement is going to be, and Rob Eric from San Diego State. What were your thoughts when you heard about John Butler being let go?
Yeah, I was just not all that surprised, honestly, because it just didn't look right. You know what I mean? From the optics perspective, and I can only imagine what it was like behind closed doors. I don't know. I don't have any inside information.
Doesn't seem like Matt Rule was that thrilled about it, though.
It just didn't look right. And like I've said this before, but I think John Butler is an elite developer and coach of defensive backs. And I think you saw that come to fruition this season to some degree.
So is it difficult? And I think the answer to this is pretty obvious, but is it difficult for you to draw the line in the sand with John Butler versus Addison Williams? Because it seems like the majority of the feedback coming out of Lincoln, maybe not all the credit, but a lot of that credit is going to Addison Williams and his development of the defensive backs. And I think a lot of that reason is because the jump in which the defensive backs took from year one under John Butler versus year two, which there's also the aspect of it. There's also another year under John Butler as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it takes a village, right? Everybody's got to be pulling on the rope to make it go.
How many phrases can we work into one sentence?
It's just something that I kind of expected when, honestly, after the Penn State game, it started to enter my mind that Nebraska was probably going to make a change at defensive coordinator, just because we didn't see anything in the front six, front seven, whatever you want to call it, that made you hopeful for the future, right? You've got some big time recruits and some big names in those rooms, and the defensive line and linebackers were largely a disappointment this year. I think Vincent Shavers took a step back, like from where he was a year ago, right? Riley Van Poppel did not live up to any sort of expectation.
I went back and rewatched the Iowa game 2 nights ago, and I was blown away with how obvious it was that Iowa would line up on one side of the ball and run that play to that side and then hurry up to the line and then run the exact same play to the other side, knowing that Nebraska couldn't communicate to get lined up properly. And it worked every single time.
There were just too many times throughout the season where I saw things like, just as one example, during the Iowa game, they line up and it's like, I don't know, it was like 3rd and 2. And it's very obvious that we're going to see quarterback run. Like, you just know it's coming.
Right.
Nebraska's got 3 down linemen and 2 linebackers. And I'm going, what is going on? I don't know. And like, I am not a football expert. I'm not a football coach. I can only tell you what I see. What I could see on TV was, this looks like I was going to run the quarterback here.
Yeah.
3rd and short in the red zone. Seems like it's coming.
It's worked 4
times
so far.
And that seemed like news to the Nebraska defense.
Yeah.
Which is always a bad sign.
Well, how many times did you count on your hands and toes this year where it was, okay, we're facing a mobile quarterback here. Really hope there's a spy in the box.
Mm-mm.
And then you see either who should be the spy drop or rush the quarterback and go, oh, well, there goes Nico for another 34-yard gain.
It was not translating for whatever reason. And like, I don't even want to say that John Butler's a bad defensive coach. Like, I think he's definitely a good defensive backs coach. something was not working. And you can't, in this day and age of college football, with Indiana doing Indiana things, you can't sit on your hands.
Have you heard about them?
I have heard about them. We'll talk about them later in the show.
I got to butt in here. Indiana just won the Big Ten, and nobody is talking about it.
I think people are talking.
We have killed conference championships in anything that they mean. No, they're talking about Kurt Cignetti and being undefeated and being the number 1 seed in the college football playoff, which you absolutely correctly predicted would happen last year. But I like the fact that that's a footnote after everything else is incredible. But
who is they that is not talking about? Because
the talking head shows,
my whole timeline is Indiana football content.
It should be. They're good.
It is people
They're very
Fernando
good.
Mendoza-ing all over.
Fernando Mendoza, a huge dork, by the way.
Can you imagine 10 years ago if Indiana won the Big Ten? It would be the most talked about conversation in sports.
If someone in a coma
right
from 10 years ago woke up today and they said, "Hey, Indiana's the Big Ten championship."
Does this prove that the 12-team playoff works? We'll get into that in a minute. Sorry, I'm getting off topic here. Anyway. My problem, and Dan and I addressed this last week, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I have hit a point with Matt Rule that I don't want to hear him blame anybody else going forward. There was the comments about the body language on the sideline of John Butler and some of the decision makings that happened in the Iowa game that kind of sealed his fate, etc. We heard earlier in the season about the lack of run plays called being put on Dana Holgerson's shoulders. And it kind of feels like in Matt Rule's mind, and this is what he does when he gets to the podium, this is just my observation, is I'm in charge, I've empowered these guys, and if they fail, it's on them. That's what I read from him at the podium. That's not going to fly next year, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of upset people. There's already a lot of upset people. I think there's going to be even more upset people next year.
Well, and that's all perspective, I think, because you can look at it your way.
Which is probably the correct way.
And there's another way to look at this to say, like, if you're not doing the things that Matt Rule thinks need to be done to win football games, you are not going to stick around here very long. He's got a quick trigger finger for people who are not getting it done. He is not wasting time.
I think I disagree with that statement.
How?
Did you see his reaction in body language to talking about the coaches that were let go? Like, he almost looked like he was in tears talking about Terry Braden being let go from the staff today. You took that as that was his decision?
I think it has something to do with who they hired as the defensive coordinator.
Sure.
And he's taking his defensive coordinator's word and saying, like, we need a different defensive line coach. Maybe he doesn't want to do it, but it's what needed to be done.
His former offensive coordinator is still on the staff as a tight ends coach. Now, there's probably some salary dictation that is causing that to happen.
Okay, but is he coaching the offense anymore?
He's not. But again, were you taking that as his decision?
Yes.
I just find it really hard to believe that he didn't want Marcus Satterfield. He's even talked about it this year, like the flack that Sat took last year. Like, I think there's probably a little bit of pressure.
You think someone else is dictating to Matt Rule what he has to do with his coaching staff?
You don't think there's somebody that's dictating to every head coach in the country what they need to do with their coaching staff?
I find it hard to believe.
You don't think Troy Dannon would have some sort of input on that?
I think Troy Dannon might have some input. I don't think he's telling Matt Rule, fire this guy.
I would.
Wow, I wholeheartedly disagree with that.
I would push back on that a little bit, and I would say it's probably not Troy Dannon. It's probably the man who we all know has Matt Rule's ear probably the most in that coaching room.
Josh Peterson.
Surprisingly not. Actually, Phil Snow. I would assume that Phil Snow probably has the whisper power with Matt Rule to say, hey, this guy's kind of negative. This guy's kind of negative.
Well, that's
he's not really doing his job as well as he could. We could try to figure this out a little bit.
That aspect is my other problem with the defense as a whole this year.
You don't like Phillip?
No, you had 4 guys on this coaching staff that were former defensive coordinators.
Didn't look good.
And so to just say, well, John Butler's out because this is on him.
The buck has to stop somewhere, though.
That's my point. Shouldn't it stop with? Listen, you got to hold your coordinator accountable, but to come out and leave it at the foot of the.
Do you want Matt Rule to fire himself?
I'd like a little more accountability. I would like him not to pass the blame.
Put it on me all the time. Like, I'm not sure what you want him to do.
I don't like how much this year specifically, and it was more Dana than it was Butler, where it was like, okay, well, this went wrong, and he was like, well, that's on Dana. Like literally, his words were, "That's on Dana," and then he said, well, it's on me a little bit too. It's like, well, it can't be both ways. You know what I mean? Like you're the guy that has the ability to go, everybody stop talking. This is what we're doing. That's my problem.
Do you want Matt Rule to take all of the blame or to take none of the blame?
Yes. Because here's
my
the thing.
question is, do you want him to take all the blame or do you want him to tell you the truth?
Well, here's the thing. Is we want it. We how many times did we talk as a fan base about wanting the CEO head coach, right? And that is what Matt Rule has referred to himself as and how he structures his program. When you let's put this in layman's terms. You go through the drive-through at McDonald's. When you go through, do you care that John is putting your food in the bag incorrectly? Or do you care
I don't work at McDonald's.
Do you care that McDonald's did it? You care about McDonald's doing it, right? So you have to take the entire corporation into effect, not just the guy making the mistake, which is why it needs to start at the top.
Okay. So that's where I think we get into a weird thing, because the way that Rule presents himself out into the media and to us as fans,
and owners of the Green Bay Packers,
yes, writ large, is a positive.
Okay.
Because he says what needs to be said, and generally the buck does stop with him. I don't find many times that he's really like passing the blame out to a lot of other people. I would rather have a Matt Rule in that regard than have a Mike Gundy where he just comes up and goes, "Hey, we were buns today. We are the worst college football team that has ever gotten on one side or the other of a pigskin."
Mike Gundy was actually right about that, though.
I'm 40.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really have it both ways. It's either he takes all of the blame or he's honest about what's actually going on inside of the program.
Right, but one
of those can go to a very scary level.
And I guess both can be right too, right? Like both of those things can be true. My problem is there's times in his body language when he's saying that it kind of looks like he is just completely passing the buck. That's my problem.
Okay,
and a little bit of that is coach speak as well. And there's probably some things that he knows he can't say out loud because this state will take it and run with it and show up with pitchforks and torches at somebody's doorstep. But the other part of it is also like, it's really difficult for me to hear somebody criticize somebody that they hired or leave the blame on somebody that they hired and then take the blame. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. My point here, though, is that if Matt Rule hires Dana Holgorsen and says, you're in charge of the offense and you're making the decisions about the offense, and then he, Dana Holgersen's offense falters, and he says,
which it did a couple times this year.
It did. And he says, well, that's on Dana.
Yeah.
I think it's implied that it's also on him because he hired that guy and gave him that responsibility.
Okay, I guess I didn't look at it from that angle, but it just feels it kind of feels like Matt Rule has taken the Nick Saban approach to going out and hiring high-end coaches, and we're expecting the news on a pretty high-end defensive line coach here in the next couple of hours, and has just said, okay, you guys manage what you manage, and I'll manage you, but I'm going to be hands-off, which is an approach. He has the option to do that. But then you also have to be at the fault as well.
No doubt.
And that's why I go back to where we were discussing the quick trigger to fire guys is, and maybe it's just his personality, which is absolutely a possibility, but it just doesn't ever seem like, hey, we demoted this guy, we let this guy go, and it's business as usual. He's clearly affected by those decisions, which is why I find it hard to believe he's the only one making them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and it could just be his personality is geared that way. I'm not, so that's not how I see it. So that could be where the disconnect comes in.
I think, you can appreciate the amount of work that someone does. You can appreciate them as a person and really feel bad that you have to move on from that relationship because it's not working out. I mean, you ever broken up with a girl because you just weren't good for each other, but like you still liked her?
The only person I've ever been with is my wife.
Uh-huh.
Also, like,
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Matt Rule has emotional empathy. That's probably a good thing to have in a human being. Football coach, I don't really know, but human being, that's great. Because I'll put this in terms that everyone can understand. Jimmy, you own a business. You hire 5 people, you work with them for a year, and one of them turns out to be a slacker. But you gave him a full year to work.
He's not making it a year.
Aren't you going to? I know. I know that for a fact. But if after that year you have to fire the slacker, aren't you going to feel a little bit bad? To be like,
Nope. But this goes back.
John Butler was not a slacker. He wasn't providing.
This is a completely different topic. But this goes back to the CEO discussion of, and why this may be an unfair conversation. What were the expectations? And that's important too, because if day one, Dana Holgorsen, John Butler, Tony White, whoever it is, walked in and Matt Rule had the conversation, listen, you have full empowerment. You run 1/3 of this team, and you are fully responsible in the media and to our fan base and to me, and I'm completely hands off.
Yeah, I don't know if he's completely hands off.
Right, but that's a completely different conversation. Now, it's really hard to believe that's the case. And again, this is all hypothetical because of how much Matt Rule talks to his teams and his coaches and the fan base through the media.
Yeah,
which is why I find that hard to believe. But I will say this. Obviously, Donovan Raiola let go as well. Jeep Wade from Georgia Tech, the
22-year offensive line coach,
but also the assistant coach of the year in college football. I think that's. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's pretty obvious that Dylan Raiola is not coming back. In my opinion, I said this 2 weeks ago. I still believe. I think it's probably best for Dylan to move on. And the reason that I say that is because listen to Matt Rule before Dylan Raiola got here. He talked openly about quarterback run game and ball control and being like Iowa and being like Wisconsin and being a Big Ten football team and how much he admired Kirk Ferentz and the way he's been able to do it in Iowa City. And then a massive gift fell out of the air in the form of a 5-star quarterback, and they completely changed their philosophy on all that. Now, that's cause to do so. I'm not knocking him for that. But look at what Jeep Wade has done and Haynes King at Georgia Tech and the way they control that offense. I think it behooves this team to move in that direction because I think that's more the identity and the mental makeup of what this coaching staff wants to be. And Dylan Raiola is clearly not that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Haynes King's stats from the year. He carried the ball 178 times for 922 yards and was only sacked 9 times.
Yeah. They went out and got a guy that can protect the quarterback.
Nebraska got their quarterback sacked 9 times in one game.
Yep. Watched it happen.
It certainly looks like a shift in philosophy. You had a guy who came from the NFL ranks, who was working, trying to work with sort of a pro style protection scheme and was trying to play with a drop back passer. And you've just gone out and hired a guy from Georgia Tech who ran the HE double hockey sticks out of their quarterback this season. So, I mean, it doesn't always translate 1-to-1 from place to place. It's not to say that he couldn't totally change. And they just had to do what they had to do at Georgia Tech because that's the players they had, right? You're a good coach. You can do that. You can adapt your system to the players that are in your building. I'm sure that Jeep Wade can do that.
The good ones do.
From the high above look, it seems like there's going to be a shift. That doesn't mean that there will be. And this was the larger point of why I wanted to have this discussion tonight.
Well, hold that thought, because let's get into that, because I think there's still a lot left on the table here that we need to discuss. We can move on to Notre Dame in a minute. If you missed the opening segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From Nebraska neighborhoods all across the state, it's clear there is no place like Nebraska. It's not just a song, it's a way of life around here. Just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, sharing proud traditions of agriculture, athletics, and education. They're bringing communities together, connections by connections. Head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio and sign up for the official mobile internet and TV provider of the Huskers. It's Aloe Fiber. Check out aloefiber.com/Husker Radio tonight. What do we make of the mental makeup and the new looks of the coordinator's positions for Nebraska? We come back. 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge. That's where you go when you need the best in your fall and winter gear. They've got all the good brands, Mizzen and May, Johnny O, Roan, and now in stock for the fall, Brax. The new pants, they're professional, they're comfortable, you're going to look great, you're going to love them. I tonight am wearing a lovely long sleeve pocket tee from Johnny O with a little Creighton logo embroidered on the sleeve. If you want something like that, and I'm telling you, you do, because this is one of my favorite shirts. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's nice and stretchy, it fits great. Check out 78th and Dodge. Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They've got you covered for all your fall and winter gear. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Turning windy tonight with a high wind warning after midnight. We'll see gusts over 50 miles per hour, eventually low in the upper 20s. Still windy on Wednesday and much cooler with a high only around 33. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
For the 3rd year in a row, Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola present Zoolightful, a holiday celebration at Henry Dorley Zoo. Now through December 28th, stop by any Omaha area Hy-Vee through the holiday season and grab Coke 12-packs for just $4.99 when you buy 4. Also, Dasani 24-pack water is $3.99. Get down to Henry Dorley Zoo and celebrate the holidays with Hy-Vee and Chesterman Coca-Cola.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:25 on a WeFlex Tuesday here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all the championship action hanging out on Bellevue's campus this winter. It's winter now on the BU Bruins app on your smartphone tonight. The Bellevue men's basketball team, they're pretty good, 10-0. got a lot going on over there on Bellevue's campus. We're speaking of campuses. We're just talking about Nebraska's campus and the hire
some new people showing up.
The hire of offensive coordinator of Jeep Wade and the difference it's going to make. Now, the thing that we didn't get into, we talked about the dismissal of Terry Braden, but there's also maybe the premier defensive line recruiting coach in the country.
Might be shopping himself for new jobs
out there. Yeah. And obviously there's I had it up in front of me. Dan, I just want to let you know that Josh Land will let you know that the Broncos are going to roll the Packers this weekend. I think he probably wanted me to read that on air. He just texted me.
They won't. So that's fine.
Just wanted to throw that out there in the middle of it. But it sounds like Elijah Robinson is not going to be the next defensive line coach at LSU, which is where it was essentially a lot of people reporting that it was down to Nebraska and LSU, as Matt Zanetz tweeted out earlier that that's not going to be the case. And Josh, thank you. You're welcome, Josh. But if Nebraska is able to go out and get a guy that has already been recruiting defensive linemen in the cycle, has been able to have a very high hit rate in the transfer portal, that's a difference maker. And because
Nebraska needs a difference on the defensive line
for a lot of reasons. You now need another down lineman in your set because Nebraska's shifting to a 4-2-5 instead of a 3-3-5. It's going to look a lot more like the Peso that Bo Pelini used to run. But also, it felt like a regression year for that defensive line. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. Lost two NFL guys, but B, you also had a lot of new faces rotating there. Williams Nwaneri flashed at times, but sometimes still looked like a freshman. You had
Desan McCullough was up and down,
and he was asked to do a lot of different things. I still don't understand what Cam Lenhardt's role on this team is.
Buddy, I don't know if he does.
And it kind of felt like, and I mentioned this, and I can't remember if you were here this night, but I was talking about when I was at the USC game. And the way they shifted the defensive line out, like they were having dudes just run the length, like defensive linemen run the length of the field to switch out. And like you were coming in fresh, but you just sprinted for 55 yards and then getting down into a stance. And the rotations didn't make sense. They rotated a lot, and it never really felt like they had the same group of guys out there in the same situations. And now you're asking to add some bodies to a room that's already kind of depleted. You need a guy that's going to be able to get some talent.
Well, this is why I was saying, like, something didn't translate. Like, something wasn't working. The operation was obviously, like, clearly not good. Like, it was not working. Like, if you watch the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and I know you did, Nebraska's defensive line on run plays was getting moved 3 yards off the ball at minimum almost every
time. Clockwork,
Yeah. Like, Keona Davis was taking back steps more than he was taking forward steps. Like,
and that's a big man.
Everybody was just going in reverse. And, like, that is such a bad look. And, I knew, like, I changed my prediction at the last minute on air. I was going to come on here and predict Penn State to win. I changed my mind. I own that. We didn't get to do the show before Iowa.
Yeah.
I saw that coming a mile away.
I think most people did.
Because if you, like, Penn State, you watch that game, Kirk Ferentz watched that game and said, all we got to do is run the ball.
I'll run this way. I'll run that way, and it will work. And not to break my arm patting myself on the back, but you'll remember after the Michigan game, I went, this team looks a lot more like 7-5 than it does 9-3.
You did. All credit to you for that one.
But it's, and that's why a lot of people,
I just thought they'd figure it out eventually.
That's why a lot of people nationally are like, oh, Nebraska fans just need to be happy. And you listen, you got to celebrate the wins when you get them. And it's like, you can't really celebrate a win over a team you're favored by double digits when you squeak it out by 6 and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be excited about it when you're struggling with Michigan State and you finish out the season in Happy Valley and then with Iowa, who do what Michigan State did well against Nebraska 10 times better than Michigan State does.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm one of those people who definitely believes that you should celebrate the victories no matter how they come.
Smell the roses.
But you can also, like, it's not wrong to point out the cracks in the foundation just because you live in a nice house, right? If it never looked right. And it didn't look right from game one against Cincinnati.
Mm-mm.
Like, and some of the, like, I know the pass defense was very good, elite in some categories, but some of that also was like, did teams really have to throw it that much against Nebraska to be successful?
Sure.
No, they didn't.
No. And
they really didn't.
There were times that teams were successful too. It's not like they just pitched a shutout every game. You know, there was a couple of pass plays throughout the season.
Later in the season, teams started to figure out, like, okay, if we want to throw the ball, we got to run the ball and force them to move another player down into the box because we can't throw it on them when they're set up in this shell defense. So we can run the ball, and then we'll open up the passing game later in the game. And that worked.
Throw it to the opposite side of Sierra Wright.
That worked a lot late in the season.
What obviously we know there's going to be a change in scheme with the new defensive coordinator coming in. What do you want to see be the biggest change would you like to see out of
pass
the
rush?
Okay, that's where I was going to.
You've got to be able to affect the quarterback.
And the way you're going to be able to do that is you need to identify the strengths of guys and leave them in those positions.
Yeah.
You can't rotate guys from inside outside and let them and try to run like a positionless defensive line like Nebraska tried to do at times this year. Like, you need to let Williams-Nwaneri line up outside of a tackle and pin his ears back and go. You need to let Cam Lenhart be able to do what he did as a freshman All-American and duplicate that. Now,
and then you need two studs in the middle that can occupy blocks.
And eat up bodies. I agree with that. Now, I think there's a couple interesting things about the move to two linebackers. The biggest struggle that Nebraska had from a linebacker standpoint this season was running sideline to sideline. And that in a two-man set is what you need to be the best at.
Sure. You're depending on how you're running or whether you're nickel or third safety, that guy's got to be involved in the run game too.
For sure. Which kind of sucks you're not getting Deshaun McCullough back next year because that would have been the perfect fit for him.
Yeah, a box safety. He would have been awesome.
Yeah, but you mentioned Vincent Shavers a minute ago, and he was really good at planting his foot and getting upfield. He wasn't elite, but again, he's a true sophomore. And obviously a guy that was banged up this season. I think I'm the most intrigued to see what Willis McGahee is if he comes back. It doesn't hit.
You think he's coming back?
I mean, he was hurt, so that gives us a reason for the red shirt.
Yeah.
But listen, Rob Dvorak's his guy. Rob Dvorak's not going anywhere.
Dylan Rogers started to flash at the end of the year.
I agree. That's the other guy. And that's actually the reason I brought this up, because I think that's a guy that might be the only guy that didn't really seem to struggle getting to the sidelines this year.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the whole defensive front just has to be better in almost every way. Like if they're not slightly better at everything, it's going to look exactly the same.
The offensive line intrigues me too, because I feel you go out and get Jeep Wade, obviously, because of the success that he's had his entire career, and obviously the most recent success he's had at Georgia Tech.
Big body in the transfer portal from Georgia Tech too.
Bingo. That's the other thing, is how much of it was okay, Rocco's gone. You've got to find some sort of solution at tackle, because what you have right now in the current state isn't going to be good enough. You go get a guy that can bring a couple guys with him, because that has been the makeup of college football lately. Is how many guys, not only who can you hire, how many guys can they bring with him to make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, right? If you're going to fire a position coach to hire a different one, yes, you like number one, you want that position coach to be a great teacher. That's the number one job of a position coach, is to teach.
Going forward, it's got to be the number one priority, because development has been a massive issue for
and
this team.
Second is, what kind of guys can you get on campus?
Yeah.
What are your connections, and who are the players you can bring to us?
And if you can bring a Peyton Joseph with you, that's going to be and for anybody that doesn't know, that's the offensive lineman that's in the portal today from Georgia, or yesterday from Georgia Tech. His position coach leaving is going to spark that, whether he's coming to Lincoln or not. But I am going to hold. I need you to hold me accountable to this.
Okay.
Dan, I need to be held accountable to.
Write it on the board.
All right.
I will not go in. I will not even budge off a 7-5 prediction next year until I see a massive improvement in talent on the offense and defensive line.
Yeah.
It has to be both, because when you look at Ja'Cory Barney's progression, 5-star quarterback, Sierra Wright's development. Obviously, Nebraska's pass defense as a whole. You look at the skill. Emmett Johnson as a perennial All-American / second or third team guy in those ranks, possible first team All Big Ten. The skill position guys have flashed. So what's not working?
Trenches.
And it's been that way really since the second year of Mike Riley. Those positions, like whether it be struggles with the snaps in Cam Jurgensen's first year, if it's trouble on the tackle staying healthy, whether it's the defensive line not being able to stay healthy in Frost's third year, they're just the trenches have always been thin. And listen, that's the way of college football
until
right
last year.
You can't. Well, that's what we thought, right? I mean, this was the depth on the offensive line was supposed to be the one.
I was mainly saying D line.
Yeah.
D line was,
but even then,
great
like
last
they
year.
were, but they weren't deep. Like you didn't like. To the same reasons that everybody had concerns this year was look what happens when Ty and Nash aren't out there.
Yep.
Or as I just called them Tash. I didn't do that in
Cash.
person, but I guess that's what we're calling going
Tango
forward.
and Cash.
It was just and Dan and I were having this conversation last Tuesday. It's like this is why a lot of people are so upset with this coaching staff is because almost in unison this entire state was going, what about the second running back and the offensive line problems and the defensive line issues? And the coaching staff as a whole went, oh, we're good.
You were not good.
The narrator tells us they indeed were not good.
Yeah.
So, and that was my biggest problem with the way this whole season ended. It was like, okay, all the problems that were glaring in July were still an issue in November. Why weren't those addressed?
Yeah.
And maybe it was just as simple as we couldn't find the pieces to fix it, which you obviously can't come out and say that because then you're just throwing your whole team under the bus. But it's pretty apparent that was the case.
Yeah. I think it was the problems were known and we kind of knew if it was not going to go right, we knew where it was going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And all those things kind of came true. It just built up to the end of the season where they could not get it figured out. And the second running back problem didn't end up being a problem because you didn't really need
number one was really good.
So,
but listen, it is now.
It is now.
And
Marion Parker's gone.
You made a lot of changes on this coaching staff.
Yep.
The dude coaching running backs / recruiting running backs is still there.
Yeah. And look, this was the other thing that I thought about when I heard the Donovan Raiola firing is Nebraska's got some big time O-line recruits that have been waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Like some guys that we were real excited about when they signed on the dotted line. And
sure. And some of those guys have been hurt.
Some of those guys have been hurt. Some of them have been developing. They've been behind transfers.
For everybody that's like calling for Grant Bricks has not been available. Like, and obviously, you know, maybe it looks different if you're able to develop a guy that can't stay healthy. And that's a part of Teddy Prochazka was hurt his entire career. Turner Corcoran was hurt his entire year. So it's easy to point at the offensive line and say they missed on this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. Well, those injuries added up. And they clearly equated to a big problem.
The portal for the O-line could get messy in a hurry come January 2nd. Like, you're changing the offensive line coach.
As in a sense of like people are leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, you're anticipating that happening. Like you're not making this decision without that anticipation though, right?
Sure.
Okay.
But that's the first thing that popped into my mind when I heard about the Donovan Raiola firing was like, you've got some younger offensive linemen who we were expecting in their second and third and fourth years to really take that step forward that may be exiting this program. This may be a complete overhaul. Like, not just from a coaching perspective, but from a personnel perspective as well, which is like, look, Texas Tech did it. They're in the playoff. They built a whole new team out of whole cloth.
Sure. And I'll give you that. And I caution for everybody that is on that bandwagon of look what Indiana did. Look what Texas Tech is doing. Look at what happened at Colorado. Look at what happened.
They're like $23
$23
million in debt now.
Yeah. Like there is a right and wrong way to do things.
Yep.
And it kind of feels like, and maybe this is even more specific to college basketball, it feels like there's this shift of, we slow down here and keep the checkbook in place and go the freshman route and see if we can develop and keep guys, because it's getting more and more expensive every single year. And back to the point a minute ago we made with the offensive lineman, I mean, you have a guy like Jared Batty who jumps in the transfer portal today from San Diego State too, is like, I caution people. I think Jared Batty's coming to Lincoln, but I also caution people that as soon as you see a Georgia Tech offensive player or a San Diego State defensive player, don't automatically assume they're coming to Lincoln either.
Right?
Is it more likely that they're probably going to? Yes, but also you got to find room for those guys too. And Nebraska's got a pretty stacked roster.
And I wanted to bring this up just as a fine point on my thoughts here, is like none of us have studied Rob Orridge's defense. None of us have studied Jeep Wade's offensive lines. Like, we read the same stats that everybody else does. We read the articles, and ultimately,
I actually watched a weird amount of Georgia Tech football this
year.
year.
They were on a lot at weird times. But as far as like digging in and getting in deep with like O-line blocking schemes and stuff, and like I've been an analyst, I've studied football. You've been a coach, you've studied football. Even in that, right? Like, we still don't know enough to have opinions that are informed by facts.
Well,
right?
and not only that, even if you do, how much does that change in a Dana Holgorsen system and under Matt Rule, et cetera?
Yep.
Like it could be completely an apples to oranges scenario.
And I'm not even saying like you shouldn't have an opinion. You shouldn't, like, absolutely. You know, if you don't think that the Mountain West defensive coordinator translates to the Big Ten, that's fine. You're allowed to have that opinion, and I will not tell you not to think that. You might be right in the end, but like, if you are right, it's probably an accident. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, we can only do so much. We can look at
it's
all
not
the
apples
things,
to apples.
Right. We can look at all the Georgia Tech offensive run plays and break that down
Go
and
do
say,
it. They're really good and fun to watch.
This is going to translate, or this is not going to translate, right? But all you can know is the past. You can't know how that fits in with the personnel and the other coaching staff and the environment and the attitude at Nebraska. It may translate, it may not.
I think it's going to be another chance to hang a banner in the offseason as the offseason national champions. Because I think both of those guys are going to garner some attention for some pretty talented dudes.
I guess the overall point is, like, I think you should be mistrustful of anyone who tells you definitively this is a great hire or this is a terrible hire. Like, nobody knows that right now. And we can't know that.
You had a thought?
Yeah, I'm going to put my stock in now. We're going 10-2 next year. Hold me to it. Hold me accountable.
How many years is that in a row for you, picking 10-2?
That'd be 3 officially.
All right.
Hey, if you missed this
Or
segment,
if you count my heart.
check it out on our radio replay page on 1620 The Zone. It was brought to you by our friends at Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. You looking for a great date night experience?
Shout out to Haley.
Or maybe this weekend, head over to our Twitter page at After Hours 1620 or at our Facebook page under the same exact title. Retweet or share out the post from Pasta Amore tonight. We're going to enter you into a $25 gift card to win a $25 gift card to Pasta Amore, where you can get a bowl of pasta. You can get a bowl of meatballs. You can get a boat of meatballs while you're there too. Get a whole boat of meatballs tonight at Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. Stop by. They've been making handmade pasta every day for 50 years. Pasta Amore's in Rockbrook Village and the ideal date night in the Omaha area. Stop by tonight and grab dinner and drinks. Notre Dame, they got a leg to stand on? They feel like they do. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Bob at Williams Law. Look, if you got legal problems, are you having fun? No, you are not. You are not having fun. But what you need is good advice and someone who can set your mind at ease with good, solid legal consultation. That's Bob at Williams Law. I'm telling you, he comes in here with us. He talks about these complicated legal topics in the sports world. He breaks it down into terms that we can understand, that you can understand. Bob is great. Really nice guy, really personable. He's going to sit down with you for a free, no obligation legal consultation and make sure that you have your questions answered and get you ready for your day in court. Whether it's criminal, civil, or personal, Bob can represent you and give you the best in legal advice. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less. My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.648 on a Taste Test Tuesday here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes. You can become a Bruin as early as next week. Notre Dame is left out of the college football playoff. Mike Neville, put your earmuffs on because you're not going to hear what I say.
The college football playoff hates Catholicism.
Also, in no situation, put me on record as saying this. I don't care if this ends up happening in Nebraska in the near future. You can't go 0-2 and make the college football playoff.
You can't lose 2 in a row? Is that what you're saying?
You can't lose the first 2. And here's why. When are you the most healthy in your season? When have you had the most time to prepare for game number 1?
In general, the beginning.
Well, you can't prepare for game number 1 after game 2, so
there is zero excuses to start 0-2 and then claim to be the best team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the complaint from Notre Dame. I get it. I look.
I don't, because the team that got in over you, Miami, we know who the better team is between you. Sure, we saw it on the field. Right. My problem is the College Football Playoff Committee came out and said that head-to-head matchup didn't even matter, which makes zero sense to me. But
that's dumb.
I digress.
The real reason Notre Dame got left out is because Virginia couldn't beat a 7-5 Duke team.
Facts.
But, like, hey, Notre Dame, go ahead and win one of those 2 games you lost. You don't have to complain because you're in at 11-1.
Or hear me out. You take the tens of millions of dollars being shoveled down your throat by North or the South, and you just join a conference and you just control your own destiny. Because you know what happens if you win the Big Ten or the SEC?
You're in.
Let me check my math here. You're probably in the college football playoff.
Or join the ACC.
That's not going to happen now.
Oh, yeah. Which, how can they be mad at the ACC?
Yeah, this is dumb.
That made no sense to me. Like, it wasn't like the ACC pulled strings to have Duke win and get nobody in. Like, there was a chance that there wasn't going to be an ACC team represented.
Absolutely.
And the only reason, in my opinion, that Miami ended up getting in was the name on the front of their jersey, not even their strength of schedule.
Yeah. And like the complaints by Pete Bavacqua, like it just smacks of crybaby entitlement. Like
he got what he wanted.
The ACC is campaigning against us. And
you know who else
did you want them to campaign for you?
Do you know who else is? Everybody else that's got a team that can get in.
So bad. It sucks so much.
But listen, you've made your bed, lie in it. You want to play your own game. You want to bring your own seat to the table. You want to have somebody that's dictating on the college football playoff committee. If you get it, well, you better win. Because if you don't, you have nobody in your corner cheering for you. You have nobody going back to bat for you. And everybody else, literally everybody else is against you.
The ACC is there to serve its member institutions. Like that's the goal of the ACC, not to serve their sometimes friend who sleeps over during basketball season. Like that's not what this is.
Like, could you imagine if whoever the Big 12 representative was in this conversation was like, no, I really think you should leave BYU out and put in Missouri because sometimes they wrestle in our conference. No, nobody's doing it. And listen, I get it. Notre Dame is, in their opinion, the biggest brand. But like the fact that there's reports coming out, and I meant to look this up to see if this has been made official, but there was reports from Yahoo Sports yesterday that if Notre Dame makes the top 12, they're automatically in. Like if we're going down that road, that is a really dangerous double-edged sword. I don't know if you want to walk.
Like, but it's stupid because if you're in the top 12, unless you're 12, and we have the automatic berth for the conference,
which is the case this year.
And this is like, we talk about unintended consequences, right?
Right.
The College Football Playoff Committee said the highest ranked 4 conference champions will get in plus 1 group of 5 champion. They wanted to say the champions of the ACC, Big 12, SEC, Big 10 will get in, but they didn't say that.
Because they don't want to be picking favorites.
Right.
Listen, I said this last year. I've been dying on the hill all this year. I have zero problem with this setup. Reward conference champions, because the point of the sport is to dictate who the best teams are.
Duke won their conference championship and didn't put them in.
This is the College Football Playoff Committee's problem. You have a system in place to dictate automatic qualifiers.
Yep.
And you're actively trying not to because you think the teams you want to get in are going to get in because of that system. And it is exploding in your face on national television for the entire world to see. You have made your bed alongside Notre Dame, and you get to sleep in it too.
Like, I mean, the reason JMU gets in is because they're one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions. They're ranked ahead of Duke.
I've been adamant that if you're going to implement a college football season or a college football playoff, you have to make the regular season matter.
Well, I think it matters immensely.
I think it matters now more than ever. I think it matters more in the college football playoff era than it ever has before. And that was, you remember 4 years ago, this was the conversation. Well, if they expand past 4, it's going to make the regular season not matter as much. You still feel that way?
More fan bases are engaged later in the season than ever before.
Look how much week 2 matters.
Oh, yeah.
Go back and look at what happened in week 2 and look at the college football playoff. You don't think, 5 of those games had an impact on what happened at the end of the season? The regular season means more now than even in the BCS era, even in the 14 playoff era. I'm also a proponent. I don't think they should go to 16. I don't think they should go above that. I think 12 is the perfect number. I think
it's fun.
I think what they should, I do think that they should get a 4-team automatic qualifier for the group or for the Power 4 conferences. I think that just makes way too much sense because right now,
highest ranked G5 champion, you think they should still do that?
Yes, I do, because it gives everybody a chance. And if you're in the fight, you got a chance, right? And listen, I think Tulane and JMU are going to get bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One has to play a road game.
One has to play a team that already boat raced them this season.
Exactly. And
they both have to
play road games. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking that one was getting a bye because of the championship. They're not. But
I would love to see Oregon go to JMU's campus.
That would be that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Like, I'm here for that. By the way, I am of the, if we're going to kill the bowl system, which we're about to get to that in a minute, which Notre Dame kind of already has, kill the bowl system. Have all of these games other than the championship game played on campus. All these schools need more money.
Yeah.
You know how you do that? Give me 2-3 more ticket sales a year. It's a win-win situation for everybody. And it kind of feels like the bowl system is just waiting to get their pink slip and be sent packing, which I think is bad for the sport. And I hate that because a lot of these bowls raise money for fundraisers and things like that. But we've already got, I mean, listen, Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette set the bar with opting out of bowl games. And we've seen that become the majority going forward, or not the majority, a very common thing going forward. I think what we just saw Notre Dame do is going to start happening more and more.
But Notre Dame felt like
it's a hissy fit,
toddler in aisle 3 at Target, rolling on the floor and kicking their feet.
But listen, I mean, and I hate to make everything about Nebraska football, but when Nebraska football got the opportunity to go play in that bowl game under Scott Frost, and they declined that. I mean, it's a very different conversation. But
I can understand, like, teams that their coaching situation is in flux and
their roster's in flux. Like, the reason the bowl games used to matter before was like, okay, we can have some momentum and we could play some guys that we need to see what they're going to look like next year and how do they fit in this system, and can we use this guy in a different position to see if he flashes here. And you don't know if he's going to be on your roster by the time you get to the bowl game.
I understand Iowa State and Kansas State opting out of their bowl games. I do. I get it. Your coaches are gone.
Yeah.
You have to focus your efforts on and look, I think if the players are not on board, like, the last thing you want is for your athletic department, your football program to go out and not represent itself in the best way possible. And if you think that, like, we could go out here and just get absolutely hammered in this bowl game and it might impact our recruiting and our ability to hire the right coach, like, I can understand all that. Notre Dame doesn't have any of that. Notre Dame has a coach that's going to be there for a while.
Well, that's
allegedly.
That's the other conversation. If Notre Dame gets the automatic, if you're in the top 12, you're in clause, does that automatically become the best coaching job in the country? Has to, right?
I'm not all spun up about this top 12 thing because for the most part, if you're in the top 12, you're in anyway.
Sure.
Like, that's not even a real issue. It's just, it's a thing for Notre Dame because they're not in a conference and they refuse to join one. And why would they? They make so much money. It's just like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal to me.
It's okay on the radio and the YouTube chat says Notre Dame thought watching a Pop-Tart die was below them. And listen, maybe you know what? Maybe they're taking a stand. No more death to mascots on our watch. Nobody went down that road. What if Notre Dame is doing the right thing for mascots everywhere and not allowing them to be put into a Pop-Tart or into a toaster?
I don't know. I'm just going to say the thing that we're just kind of tiptoeing around anyway at this point, and that you sort of alluded to earlier, Jimmy. None of these other bowl games matter.
Right.
At all anyway.
Unless you're Iowa, then you hang a banner that one time you won the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, who cares?
It's a reward for the players. I mean, those players get like these really cool swag back. Didn't they give one bowl gave everybody PlayStations one year?
Yeah,
they did, yeah.
They get some cool stuff out of it.
So,
like, it's a trip to a different place. Sometimes you play in an NFL stadium. Your fans get to go to a new venue.
But like, think about the conversation Matt Rule was having about making a bowl game and like the value of getting those 10 extra practices. That doesn't have the same value anymore. It just doesn't, because you don't know what your roster is going to look like.
But it does have value for the ones that you're going to have.
It has value. It doesn't have the same value, is what I said. It's not the same value as it was 10 years ago.
I don't know. It's weird because the value of how many players do you have, blah, 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 blah. Who's staying, who's leaving, what does the transfer portal situation look like? It's the kick out from all of these programs is just so strange, because I couldn't imagine going to a bowl game and having, this is a horrible example because he's hurt right now, but just follow me on this, having a Dylan Raiola.
He's hurt right now.
Yeah. Start in your bowl game. And then immediately after your bowl game, say, all right, that was great. That was lovely. I'm so glad that we did that. I'm hitting the transfer portal and somewhere else is going to pick me up.
Well, what happens if
bye?
Let's just use Dylan Raiola as that prime example and say, okay, Nebraska goes out and shocks the world and beats Utah, and they go up to Dylan Raiola after the game and say, well, how do you feel about your performance? He goes, it was great. I'm really looking forward to playing for Mario Cristobal next year in South Beach. And if you're in the transfer portal, I'll see you down there. How you feeling about that win if that's the case? Because listen, I don't think Dylan Raiola would do that,
I don't think most players would do
there
that.
would be somebody that would do that, though. I guarantee you. In this day and age,
honestly, though, Jimmy, do we make decisions based on what some person might do? I don't think that's how we want to live our lives.
We make the majority of our decisions based off what the bad apples will do.
I try not to live that way.
I mean, like our core systems in sports and things like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the bowl system. I think it's a good thing for teams to be playing postseason games as a reward for having a winning record.
I just don't think you can do them in this landscape of college football and have them make sense and be the max benefit.
It didn't make sense really in the first place, though. I mean, did the Sun Bowl ever make sense? No, it died. It went away. Did the Bahamas Bowl make sense? No, but it was weird and fun.
Hell yeah.
Like,
let's go to the Bahamas.
You know what I mean? Like, does the Gotham Bowl playing in Yankee Stadium make any sense at all in December? No,
cool, though.
But it's fun. Like,
you know who else is weird? Dan Campion. He's got by herself as we come back. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Listen, it is always beneficial to have somebody you can trust. I was working with a contractor today, and I was like asking him about the project they were working on. They said, hey, thank you so much for getting us in touch with Stephen Butler over at Controlled Comfort. They had a previous HVAC company they were working with that just couldn't cut the mustard, and they called Controlled Comfort. Stephen and his team were there over the weekend and getting the work done that was needed to complete their list. If you're a general contractor and you don't have a reliable HVAC company to work with, head over to controlledcomfort.com. Tell Stephen, Tony, and the crew that we sent you over there. We'll be right back. Buy or selling the other side of the break. 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Paul Davis Restoration. All the snow melted. Did that mean that there's water somewhere in your house that it shouldn't be? Well, then there's a number for you to call, 402-553-0373. That's how you get a hold of Paul Davis Restoration. They can fix whatever damage you got, water, smoke, mold, whatever it is. They can come out and get you fixed up and get your house back to the way it was before the damage happened. Seasonal storms, they are a-coming. More snow on the way. If something happens and you have an emergency situation at your house and you need that fixed, call Paul Davis, 402-553-0373. That's Paul Davis Restoration.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8, and every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. And sometimes that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Top of the second hour here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You'll become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Speaking of doing it all, our do-it-all man, Dan Campen, has by herself for us tonight.
Nancy Pelosi
is a person in the world. And is apparently no longer a congresswoman. But that's not sports related because the biggest story in the NFL today. You're so fired.
Phillip Rivers, who is 44 and this needs to be said, is a real life grandfather, is unretiring for a practice squad spot with the Colts. Even with all the decimation that team has faced, buy or sell, Rivers gets snaps in a game, in a real live NFL game.
Buy, hammer, and hold. Yeah, they're not bringing him in not to sit on the bench. He's got to start for this team.
Yeah, if Riley Leonard can't go, it seems like, and the story I read today was that, so Phillip Rivers has been coaching high school football.
Correct. For his alma mater.
He's been running Shane Steichen's offense.
Oh.
At his high school. So he knows all the terminology. He knows all the plays. He knows all the reads. Like, he's apparently had several conversations with Shane Steichen throughout the season about running this offense. He knows it already.
I hope his starting quarterback at the high school, the first time he throws a pick, is like, bro, that was read number 3. Where were you even going with that? By the way, and I think this is important to point out, 44 is obviously ancient. Like, if you're over 40, you're very, very old. Yeah. Secondly, Phillip Rivers has 10 kids.
I will bench press you.
Phillip Rivers has 10 kids. I think if you have 10 kids by default, you automatically become a grandfather. So, a little unfair.
You're just grandfathered in?
Yeah.
Bingo.
I'm sorry, Dan, I have to ask because you asked this question, so I have a question for you. Do you not think he's going to play?
No, I totally think that Phillip Rivers is going to play. There's no reason for him specifically.
Right.
2020 was the last time that he took an official snap in an NFL game. You don't come out of retirement 5 years later to then be like, well, I'm just going to be a practice squad
I'll just hold
guy.
this clipboard over here.
I'm just a nice, warm body named Phillip Rivers.
I hope I don't.
No, you're going there to play the football.
I hope I don't step on your next question or questions, Dan.
Probably not.
I think
I wrote buy or sell. You're not going to step on what I'm talking about.
I think Jacksonville might be the goods. I really like that.
You've been
defense.
out on Trevor Lawrence.
I know, and I think I'm eating crow about more than Jackson Dart this season. I think Trevor Lawrence might. I like that run game. I like the way they're setting it up. I like the way the defense is closing. Now it helps they play in the AFC South, but they might be my dark horse to make the AFC Championship game.
That's interesting.
Dan?
Talk about basketball now. After this past weekend's
Purposely?
defeat of Creighton 71-50, the Nebraska Cornhuskers are still undefeated and ranked 23rd in the country.
And have the nation's longest win streak.
Buy or sell. Husker fans should get those tickets for the big dance now.
Oh, that's a tournament team. If Rink Mass stays healthy, and
boy,
I was gonna say maybe even if not, but I think he needs to stay healthy for them to be like the way Bear Case played. If they could stay healthy, like that's a really good team. Like they're gonna be able to beat a lot of teams in the Big Ten.
Peyton Sanford,
that might be the pickup of the year in the Big Ten.
Has been a marvelous transfer. Like,
yeah, people thought that Nebraska got the third best Iowa transfer.
Might have got the first.
Yeah, maybe not.
That Fred has got those boys rolling now. They are playing super good basketball.
They're playing Fred Hoiberg defense, which is allowing them to shoot offensively and creating space on the floor. That I'm going to go on a limb here and say we've never seen a Nebraska basketball offense be able to play with. And what they're creating offensively, 9 times out of 10 is created from what they're doing defensively. And that's why it's working so well.
You put one on the board already?
Okay.
I'm going to put one on the board. This is the year. This is the year that Nebraska gets an NCAA tournament.
I'll put another one on the board. If this isn't the year, it's never happening. This is the year.
This is the year.
And so I did a quick little peek at what the rest of Nebraska's, albeit Big Ten-esque schedule looks like. Truly, their only real competition currently is a ranked Illinois team, a ranked Purdue team that they only have to play once, and a ranked Michigan State team that, again, they only have to play once this year.
I got a thought on Purdue basketball.
That they don't have an identity and they're
something's
just gonna
wrong.
crumble.
Something's wrong. Like
Hey,
maybe that's it.
at
Maybe
least they're not
summed it up,
Kentucky.
Dan. Right, Mark Pope. Good luck, bud. There's something wrong with Purdue basketball.
Michigan's beating Villanova 78-45 right now.
The Big East is bad. The Big East is really bad. With that being said, I hate to say this, I'm having a really hard time finding a lot of more wins for Creighton basketball this season.
Utah Tech, I'm calling the game next week.
They're going to win that one.
Yeah, the light at the end of that tunnel is dimming slowly.
I have a lot.
Quickly.
Yeah,
Dan,
there's no.
quickly.
It's not happening slowly. I have a lot of questions about where they get offense from that team, and I have zero answers. By the way, Hudson Greer, I hope your foot's okay.
Yes. For the second year in a row, Leo Messi is your MLS MVP.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. Buy or sell that this is an indictment of soccer in America.
No, Lionel Messi is maybe the greatest player of all time. Even though he's in his late 30s, Leo Messi is 4 to 6 times better than any player who's ever played in the MLS. So, no, this is not an indictment of the league. The league's actually probably as good as it's ever been right now. Leo Messi's just that guy. Leo Messi may play in the World Cup again at age 40 next year, and I wouldn't put it past him winning the Golden Boot.
Tyler Adams.
Very good midfielder.
Okay. John, we're going to keep.
I went with an American soccer player that I knew.
John, we are going to keep wetting your beak here.
Okay.
Because this is something that we rarely touch on this show, and it's very important because it's coming to America. All right. The World Cup draw was just a few days ago. Group D is where we find the good old US of A.
Yeah.
And we'll be taking on Australia, Paraguay, and the winner between Slovakia, Turkey, Romania, and Kosovo. By the way, just put him in English on the card if you're going to give it to the great one to have him read it. But buy or sell, we can pencil this in as a win in the group stage.
I have an opinion on this.
Oh.
I don't think America is getting out of the group stage. I think they've gotten.
You don't think they're going to finish in the top 2?
I don't.
Okay.
This team
That's crazy.
is lucky enough to be in this tournament in the first place.
They're the host,
because they're the
so
host. Like
they
what
would have
if-
qualified. This
You
team's
think
good
so?
enough. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't, and I think it's going to show its ugly head in their home country, and it's not going to be a good look.
USA absolutely should win this group. They have beaten Australia and Paraguay in friendlies recently, both those teams. And if the only thing that would give me pause about them not finishing
This is where I'm
top of
going.
the group is Turkey, because that's a very talented team that can cause problems. Now, they were poor in qualifying, which is why they're in the playoff in the first place. So they don't necessarily like always put it together.
We don't know the place they're playing at yet, right? We don't know the locations.
USA's got 2 matches in Seattle. I know
okay.
that.
I
I looked at it. I know there's 2 matches in Seattle for US. They're not playing in Kansas City. I can tell you that.
That's more what I was asking. But
Yeah, they're not playing in Kansas City. I think they absolutely should win the group, and if they don't finish top 2, it is a massive failure.
I would. So first of all, I would say get your hopes up, because there are a lot of people online right now who are saying some very negative things about FIFA and about the World Cup, considering the United States' draw. And this is kind of part B of the question. Do you think that there's any weight to the FIFA USA collusion rumors and aspects that we've heard over the last couple days of
FIFA would never collude with anybody.
This was rigged to get
Oh, come on.
the United States of America, one of the easiest groups that they could possibly be in.
Okay, so why would they rig it for the US and not any of the other 2? Because look at Group A that Mexico's in. They got South Africa, who's one of the hottest teams in the world right now. South Korea, who's always dangerous in the tournament, and then either probably either Denmark or the Czech Republic, who are very tough European squads. Mexico's got a brutal group for them. Canada got Qatar, Switzerland, very tough team, and probably Italy. Like Canada's got a tough group too. So I don't like. Why would they only collude with one of the 3 host countries? That doesn't make any sense to me. And also, like, look at Germany's group. Germany's group is nothing. Like Germany got Ivory Coast and Ecuador. Ivory Coast, who barely made it, like they've been poor. Ecuador, who like never performs at the tournament, like at the World Cup. Like, come on, let's get realistic, okay? Look at the whole package. Look at the whole draw, and you tell me. England got Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. That's a pretty fierce group. If FIFA was going to rig it for anyone, why would they not rig it for the place that loves soccer more than anywhere else in the world?
Brazil.
Well, there's a whole nother aspect of this that we could go into, but that's more of an off-air conversation as mandated by the rules of this show. Moving on, Jeremiah Love, Julian Sand, Fernando Mendoza, and Diego Pavia are the finalists for the Heisman.
Sorry, can you repeat that last one?
Diego Pavia.
Where does he play football at?
Vanderbilt.
Who on this show has been telling you since week 1 that he was going to get invited to New York?
Some nerd with no hair.
That wall?
Guy. Same haircut as that wall.
Yeah. No selling. I just want you to buy on who's going to raise that stiff arm trophy.
It's Julian Sands. He's already won it. Just give it to him.
Over Fernando Mendoza.
Yep. They made that. Listen, the majority of those votes came in before that Big Ten championship game. It's Julian Sands.
I think it's going to be Mendoza.
It should be. I'm with you. I think so, but I think it's going to be Julian Sands.
Just because I want to hear his dorky acceptance
He's a weirdo,
speech.
man. He is a weirdo. Let's take a quick break before we get to Brian Munson so we can break down our college football playoff predictions that we had for the season and talk about how dumb we are. When we do that, we come back. This segment was brought to you by our friends at Pixel Fire Marketing. If your company needs help with social media marketing, website design, or online advertising, Pixel Fire Marketing is here to help. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com today. Work with a local marketing company that can ignite your social media presence, entice your ideal client online, and engage your brand tonight. We'll be right back talking about the CFP, what we didn't see coming. 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen for Bob Williams with Williams Law. Are you facing criminal charges right now? Do you have a civil matter? Any of those things could be handled by our friend Bob at Williams Law. Listen, I've been with Bob a few times out in public over the last couple of weeks, and he's just been stopped literally 3 times by people that had to remind him that he defended them. Bob remembered their story, how they won their case, and talked to them about that and congratulated them along the way. If you want a lawyer that's going to care whether you win or not in court, you need to work with Williams Law. They're going to give you a free, no obligation legal consultation. All you got to do is head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com. Bob and his team will sit you down, walk you through your rights, and explain what you can expect on your big day in court. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long.
Life is unpredictable. With seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner, you can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
$724 on a Taste Test Tuesday on 1620 The Zone. Not too late. Head over to our Twitter page and retweet the Pasta Amore tweet tonight. You could get it. You will be entered into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Pasta Amore tonight. All right, Dan. It's time to work your magic over there as the producer because we need you to put some stuff on the stream for the night shift tonight because before the season,
you lead, I follow.
We predicted the college football playoff.
Idiots.
This ought to be fun.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and start with mine because I think mine's the most embarrassing, by the way.
You did get the least number of teams right.
I had Penn State as the #1 overall seed. They famously fired their head coach and are not making the college football playoff. I said that Kalen DeBoer was going to go on the revenge tour and win the SEC. That also did not happen. Remember when we thought Clemson was the second best team in the country? Maybe in basketball after this performance against BYU tonight, but definitely not in football. Kansas State put Chris Kleiman in an early retirement. I had them as the 4 seed.
Yeah.
I got Ohio State in, which was probably the biggest no-brainer of all time. Texas, Arch Manning was not the prince that is promised. That's going to be an interesting offseason. Georgia is just doing Georgia things. We've already touched on Notre Dame this season. I thought BYU was going to make the college football playoff. Yeah, as it's okay to be on the radio points out on YouTube. Yeah, it's awful. This is awful, buddy. I'm with you. I also had SMU in. They're not going to be showing up, and I had Oregon in. Obviously, pretty easy pick there as well. And then I thought Boise State would represent the group of 5, and that was as stupid as a pick as I could get because there was 2 group of 5 schools that get in. Famously, none of them what's your name Boise State. I ended up getting 4 correct. Dan and John each got 5 correct. Go ahead and throw yours up, Dan.
All righty. Of course, once again, I believed in Penn State, and that led to the downfall of James Franklin's whole entire career.
You did call Tulane getting in, though.
You did.
I will give you that.
A good call.
I did call Tulane getting in. Obviously, as we already went back to, Arch Manning in Texas, not the best team in the SEC, unfortunately. So that was
it's pretty fortunate if you ask me.
Pretty bad. Obviously, Clemson. I
Sucks.
had a lot of trust in Dabo Sweeney.
Correctly spelled.
This year, and it turns out that when you don't use the transfer portal and you don't believe in NIL, that your roster is just not great. And
your love of Ole Miss finally paid off.
yes, my love of Ole Miss did finally pay off. I got that right. Georgia in at number 10. Not true. They're much better than number 10 this year. Chris Kleiman in his early grave, and K-State was on my list, of course.
Jeez. Now he's dead, apparently.
Well, his early coaching grave. I don't know. And unfortunately for Iowa State, Matt Campbell left, and unfortunately they had to get left out of the college football playoff bracket, according to my list. Ohio State, hey, look at that. That was a pretty sure bet. Alabama, again, a very sure bet on my part. Notre Dame, unfortunately, cried their way out of the playoff, allegedly, and as we are all very well aware here, Nebraska is definitely not in the college football playoff.
I have a question for John.
Better luck next year,
I have
Matt.
a question for John Schreiner before you put his list
5
up
out of
on
16?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How many teams are in the college football playoff?
There's 12.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
Why?
Because you wrote on here 4 out of 16 and 5 out of 16.
Oh.
Dan, go through John's list.
Typos.
Is it a typo if you type it 3 times?
I don't know. Probably.
Okay. All right. Just
Okay.
asking for a friend.
My top 4 was Texas, Penn State, Clemson, Baylor. All wrong. Very,
bad.
very wrong.
All bad teams.
All bad picks. All very bad. I had Georgia at 5, Ohio State at 6, Notre Dame at 7, Oregon at 8. So I got 3 out of the next 4, though. That's pretty good, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. I had Kansas State, Boise State. They didn't make it.
Man,
But
we all loved us some Kansas State before
we
the season
did.
started.
Thought they were going to win the Big 12.
No, you didn't. You thought Baylor was going to.
I did, but thought they'd be in the Big 12 championship game.
Sure.
That's what I meant. And then Texas A&M. I was the only one who believed in the Aggies. They're in, and I had Alabama just barely sneaking in on the back end, which they
Which
did.
is accurate. Yeah. None of us had the number 1 overall seed
Indiana
in our predictions.
Not one of us.
That's pretty crazy. You know who else is crazy? Brian Munson. He's got some crazy thoughts on Nebraska football. When we come back, if you missed our breakdown of our really bad playoff predictions, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration. If you're starting to see a little bit of water build up around your foundation and it's just starting to disappear before it freezes, that's not good. You've got a big problem. You need to save this phone number, 402-553-0373. You want to work with Paul Davis and a company like Paul Davis when you need somebody you can rely on tonight. 402-553-0373. Give them a call and save the number. We come back. Brian Munson, Husker Online, On 3 joins us next.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Pasta Amore. I stopped into Pasta Amore to pick up the fine food that they give us on Tuesdays for our Taste Test Tuesday. Had a little chat with the lovely hostess there, Haley. Said I had to give her a shout out. So, Haley, here's your shout out. The second one, actually. This is your second one. But they gave us some awesome, awesome food tonight. The Brussels sprouts. They gave us the lasagna, the delicious focaccia bread, which I am so excited to have every time we get Pasta Amore. The meatball boat, which was fantastic, and the Donatello, which is a spicy, kind of creamy pasta with sausage and a red sauce and some mushroom in there. It was all fabulous. You can't go wrong at Pasta Amore. Hey, and right now, Rockbrook Village, they've got all the Christmas lights up in there. It's really festive. It looks great. It's a great place to go for a nice night out for dinner with somebody that you care about, maybe just a friend, maybe it's your loved one. Doesn't matter. It's a great date night spot. They got a great bar, great drinks, great food. What more could you want? You can find it all at Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Turning windy tonight with a high wind warning after midnight. We'll see gusts over 50 miles per hour, eventually low in the upper 20s. Still windy on Wednesday and much cooler with a high only around 33. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$734 on a Taste Test 2-0 at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You don't become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Speaking of doing it all, Brian Mutzer from Husker Online and On 3 now joins us online. B. Mutz, good evening, sir. How are you?
Guys, felt like weeks since I've talked to you guys last.
It
night.
has been.
No, it has been.
The holidays and Creighton basketball has really screwed up our rotation here on After Hours. We apologize, Brian. We appreciate you being the constant professional you are and making time out of your busy day for us.
Let's not act like I'm like like an airport traffic controller or something like that. Let's just dial it down a notch here a little bit.
That might have been the nicest thing I've
yeah.
ever said to you, by the way.
I'm in the middle of trying to find a movie to turn on in the background as I finish up 3 and Out. It's got to be kind of mindless drivel. I don't want to be too involved and, kind of lose sight on doing the article and all that good stuff. So it's kind of like, it's just got to be there. I just can't be that interested.
Well,
so go ahead.
I got to ask, how difficult is it to write/forecast the future of recruits when there's a guy like Elijah Robinson out there that seems to be on the hook for Nebraska?
Yeah, it's that's a difference. That's a difference maker in that area. Yeah, it's really terrific to think about the possibilities. But I think what Matt Rule has figured out is that. Well, and he knows already with Robinson because of the competitiveness and trying to, with Kiffin trying to get him to LSU and Campbell trying to get him back out there to State College, and all this other stuff. I mean, he's already potentially, there was some rumors about like maybe not necessarily getting your guy a defensive coordinator. Rule seems to be very, very much interested now and kind of throwing it down and trying to get his guy on the defensive line, and it's been interesting to kind of watch this whole process. I mean, 3 coaches out in essentially 8 days for Nebraska. 3 hires if you include the additional SEC line coach that was hired today. It was announced today. So it's been very interesting. But Elijah to me is kind of that overshadowing kind of figure, because I think that he has that ability, I think, to really turn things around very quickly, get some people very interested in coming to Nebraska and manning that defensive line, to play in that 4-2-5. So I think that this could be, that could really be a difference maker for Nebraska to go ahead and say, you can come in here now, and we've got these guys here that'll be running the defense. It's going to be a completely different show. So everything else out the window, you're going to write your own. You're going to write the history books all over again.
It's not mindless drivel, Brian, but I'll give you my go-to background movie, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That's what I go with. Great movie. I've seen it probably 15 times.
Brian, I think you know what mine is, right?
Go ahead.
Rounders. It's got to be, for me, it's Rounders.
I just got in finishing up American Made, and I forgot how interesting that movie really was.
Yep.
And I hadn't seen it in such a long time. Too interesting. Can't do it again. Right now, struggling to kind of find the right show on TV. I have landed on, sadly, Sleepless in Seattle. I know. I don't know if I want to say that one over the air.
That laugh was me judging you, by the way.
Sleepless in Seattle is a great movie, Brian. Don't let anyone shame you.
I like the movie. I actually do. I was really surprised in how much Tom Hanks has aged or hasn't aged, basically going back to the date. But I just found The Equalizer, so I will be watching The Equalizer.
All right.
And watching a little Denzel.
So my question is about the switch to the 4-2-5 and what this means going forward. As far as the recruiting perspective.
Yeah, it does change, obviously, the profile. And honestly, I think that Nebraska was blessed when, Rule got there to have a couple guys there on the defensive line, and Robinson and Hutmacher that made things very, very easy. You had some guys that had some versatility, they had some size, they had some athleticism, and you had kind of an ability to almost roll what you wanted to out there because Hutmacher was going to be able to play a 0 or a 1. Robinson's going to be able to play a 1-3-5, 1-3-4-5. And then you had some other guys that kind of put around him, but it really, you had those two key guys that were interior defense linemen that really took the pressure off of all the other spots, or at least gave you something to kind of build around. When you don't replace those two key people from your previous line, it really, then you start to wonder how things are really going to kind of work the next season. And I think that's where, all of us were at, come January, where you didn't see another Robinson coming through the class. You didn't see another Hutmacher, being taken in the portal. And you're just going, what is this going to look like? And I think that there was some disjointedness between, I think like White and Pot Roast or whatever he goes by, leaving for Tallahassee. And I think that the way that things were kind of stood up before, and maybe how some things kind of fell apart, because they knew that they were leaving. And I don't think there was ever really a good situation, because they didn't bring in their defensive line coach until way later in the process, because the Chiefs season had to come to a close. So it was just kind of these missed opportunities. And I feel like now with the single portal window, which of course I'm writing about right now, just those 15 days in January from the 2nd to the 16th, and you've got your guys potentially here in a position to move in and kind of demonstrate that they're back on recruiting and evaluating and doing all the things they need to do, even with the guys are just expecting to jump into the portal. I think that they're going to be ahead. And then once like January 2nd comes around, it's going to be guys in Lincoln nonstop. I think we're going to have a real difficulty, I think, kind of keeping up with it is what I kind of feel like, because I think that number is going to be, 10, 11 guys, maybe potentially they're going to take it out of the portal. And I think that they're going to start getting in there, bright and early on January 2nd. So I think though, with the guys that they have brought in, the shiny new defense they want to roll out, there are some changes with what's going to happen up front. You do feel like a few more of the guys that are on the current roster fit that even front a little bit more, a little better than what they were doing, with the odd front. And I think that I mentioned this earlier to Sean as I was talking, but Christian Jones, think about Christian Jones a little bit in this defense, right? He may have really found himself a home when it comes to this 4-2-5. And I'm really excited to kind of see how a guy like he can kind of take off, because I just didn't know how it was going to fit for him with with the odd front. But I think with this even front now and what they're going to do with the 4-2-5, I think he could really find a great fit for Nebraska.
Another guy I wanted to ask you about, Brian, is a guy that I loved in high school, and we didn't get to see any of him this year because of the injury. What do you think about a guy like Tyson Terry in this scheme?
Oh, I think that this is perfect for him. I think with Tyson, I think he has an ability to kind of to play both the 1 and the 3. I think I like him a little bit more, I think, as a 3. I think because I would want to go back into the portal right now and find a 6'1" to 6'3", 315 to 325 pound nose. That I think is almost like at the top of my top of my list is a running back. I think obviously Nebraska's trying to go out there and get themselves a running back now. But I think right after that, you got to go find that real space eater, going to eat up a double team and be able to live with that all day long and keep blockers off of your linebackers. I think that that's still your guy. I think Tyson can do it, but I'm much more interested with Tyson and just kind of letting him go to work in a gap, or go work on a guard, and I think that he can do some incredible things there. So yeah, I think that this is a good situation for him. I think people would say, oh yeah, he can play the 1. He played the 1 before, but I really see him more as a college 3, and I think that would be a tremendous fit for him.
I want to flip to what you just talked about in the running back position. Obviously, we get to know that Jamarian Parker is leaving the program today. Was that surprising to you with the fact that Emmett Johnson is gone? It seems like that number 1 spot's available.
I thought it was. I mean, I put it in my tunnel talk, and I had to eat crow like 4 hours later, that he had decided to go ahead and go pro. I talked to a source like last week, and it was just kind of a pro evaluator, to kind of give me an idea like what they kind of felt like his draft evaluation could be, what the role kind of was. And I know that they're saying more like, could be a second round, more of a third round guy. And that's kind of what I got, but it was really more leaning towards the third round or the third day, excuse me. And, possibly even, pigeonholed into kind of being a third down back, which I don't think necessarily that all the awards that he got this year for his performance would necessarily just, you could limit him to that role. But I understand it. I understand it from a size perspective. I understand it from a skill set perspective. And he doesn't necessarily have that, tremendous size, but I think he's got that elusiveness that you're looking for. So, I think it was a little bit surprising to see Emmett bounce out. I think, and I wrote about this already tonight, and I guess I'll kind of steal from it a little bit. I think Nebraska, though, is in a tremendous spot to bring in that bell cow guy for next season. I mean, I think there's going to be running backs lined up around the corner after seeing what Emmett had done. And to say that they could have potentially like another type of season where Nebraska sells out and tries to, leverage them as much as they leveraged, Emmett this past fall. There's going to be several running backs that are going to be interested in having that type of opportunity, and Nebraska's going to be able to sell that very easily.
A lot of rumors flying around about Ahmad Hudson. What are you hearing? The 5-star tight end, number 1 in the country for 27.
I think Nebraska's in a great spot for Hudson. He's probably getting ready to start doing his basketball season. I think that they were having their first varsity game down here tonight as well. But he's the original plan for Ahmad always was to wait to make any type of announcement until July. The original plan was July 4th, which would be the summer before his senior year, he would make a commitment announcement. And there was something, and I can't completely and totally remember, but obviously it's going to be after his official visits. It's going to be something that coincides, I think, with his AAU basketball. And I do feel like Nebraska has, proven to him that they really want him. And obviously Trey Taylor and Tay Ellis and others like Amir Brown and even Erickson there in Omaha have all been kind of reaching out to him and staying on top of him. And those guys are very interested in making sure that they try to do everything they can to get Hudson to Lincoln. But I think this is still quite a process between now and when he actually formally makes a decision. Now, I will tell you this. I believe fully that Ahmad has a pretty good understanding about where he's going to go right now. And I think that it's going to really come down to how well, obviously, he is going to connect with Lane Kiffin at LSU, because he is an LSU Tiger legacy, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see does Kiffin have basically that better cultural fit for Baton Rouge that Brian Kelly didn't have? I mean, is Lane a much better fit, personality-wise than Brian ever was? That's going to be the complicated situation I think Nebraska is going to have to figure out if LSU is so much better off now that Brian Kelly is gone and Lane Kiffin is in Baton Rouge.
Last question for you here, Brian. We'll catch up with Brian Munson of Husker Online on 3 here. Obviously, all the attention is kind of turned to the 2027 class, and with Trey Taylor and everything that is everything that's involved and what's next. How much does the changes in coaching staff that we've seen so far affect that class, in your opinion?
Interesting. I think that they're obviously they're obviously very interested in what's happening there. But I mean, as far as the positions, with the guys that are so far in the class, with the exception of Erickson, nobody's really been impacted. I'm sure Erickson has got it down on his top on his list of things that he needs to do is get down to Lincoln and, talk to Jeep and figure out how things are going to be under him when it comes to, coaching and technique. And I think that's on the top of everyone's mind. Just how things are going to differ with how Donnie was. I give Donnie some credit. I do believe he had the locker room. I do believe he had the support of the players in his room, despite, I think, what were like endless amounts of criticism, towards the play, of the offensive line. I think Donnie had the room 100%. He had all support of the guys in the room. So I think that's going to be a part there that's going to be very interested to see how that kind of changes over. And it's going to be very interesting to hear like what the differences are going to be with how things were taught under Donnie and how things are going to be taught kind of going forward.
Well, Brian, as always, we appreciate your time. Well, you know what? Listen, I don't think we can let you get out of here without asking you a question about that football game that was played on Sunday. You got a quarterback up there in Orchard Park. I don't know if you know that or not. Josh Allen. If there was a single game MVP, he probably won it on Sunday. And if we could just get the Bengals versus the Bills or the Chiefs versus the Bills every week, it'd be great. Right. What are your expectations for your boys up there in Buffalo?
I feel a lot better after this last weekend. I mean, right now the Steelers, you're telling me the Steelers are going to win their division? Like, are we really serious after what, happened 2 weeks ago?
Sure.
I mean, first of all, it looks like things are kind of over for the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Don't sound so sad about that.
And I think things are over, obviously, for the Colts. I mean, they're bringing back Rivers.
Yeah.
Is that really a thing? What is he? Is he? How old is he?
44.
What?
He's a year older than me.
He's very old. He's 44.
That makes my knee hurt just thinking about it. And I feel wonderful about things. I literally was at a long snapping competition, listening to it over my Bluetooth, the whole entire second half, basically the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, and I'm freaking out, dropping a bunch of swear words too, because things didn't look very good there for a while. But I was pretty pumped up, and people were like going, "Oh, that guy's a Bills fan. They must be doing well." So, no, I thought he played well. Very happy to watch him play. I can't wait to get back to Orchard Park again next year to watch another game in the new stadium.
Don't look now. Eastern Michigan football finishes 3-3 to finish out the season. How are we feeling about the Eagles?
I don't know. There's a lot of changes happening up there, man. I don't think a lot of it's been made public
yet.
Kiddo's been sharing a lot of things with me on the side. I think they're very excited about the recruiting class. I know they're going to be knee deep in the portal here very, very quickly. And I think he's interested to see what his future kind of looks like there up in Ypsilanti, but he's pretty positive about some things right now. So yeah, hey, that's my second team now, man. What can I say? I go from red to green. So that's what happens.
Well, they got another fan in me, and I've been keeping an eye on what Trevor's got going on up there, and I'm really excited for the success that they finished out. I watched more Eastern Michigan football this year than I think I ever have in my entire life combined. So I've been
interesting quarterback. A little bit like a mini Josh Allen, doesn't he?
He could get there too. He's got a lot of room to fill out.
He does. Noah Kim is a very, very interesting player. But yeah, they're going to have some changes, obviously, because he won't be there. So there's a lot of things happening up there. They got a really good offensive line too. So defense needs a little help, but they'll get it addressed.
When does 3 and Out drop?
Tomorrow morning.
Check out HuskerOnline.com and follow Brian Munson at Brian Munson _ on Twitter. B Munson, as we appreciate it. We will actually catch up with you next week.
Be good, guys. See ya.
That's
Later.
Brian Mutzer from Husker Online on 3. We appreciate him joining us weekly when we're allowed to here on the After Hours Lounge. If you missed any of the show tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Allo Fiber. Listen, I've been rocking with Allo for over 2 years now. They put a Wi-Fi extender on the back of my house. I can literally be 2.5 blocks away from my home and get connected to my internet. If you need internet power like that in your house, sick of the upstairs bedroom TV always buffering while you're trying to watch it, check out allofiber.com today. For John Schreiner, Noah Houston, Dan Camden, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Pastry Day, everybody.
That's a Danish.